Monica will tell us whether or not that statement is McNutts.
Yes, I will.
Monica, let's start with this. If I were to say right now, Kyrie Irving is the most valuable player in the playoffs, is that McNutts?
Oh my gosh, this one is really tough, and I had to get some counsel from UD in the break. I'm gonna go with it being McNutts, but I do understand that Kyrie has brought this Mavs team together in a way that has elevated them to success. But when you go to the numbers, it's still Luka that's leading the way in terms of scoring with those 28 points per game in the postseason, while Kyrie is at 22. I think Kyrie has been the quintessential leader and wingman, but to me, Luka Doncic still is at the center of what the Mavs do.
That's a great term for it. We say Robin sometimes. Wingman is a very good way to phrase it, and he's historically been great in that role, and he's been great here. Meanwhile, let's talk about Donovan Mitchell. We're already looking ahead to a little bit of the summer. If I were to say Cleveland is the best fit for Donovan Mitchell going forward, is that McNutts?
I don't think that this one is McNutts. Over the weekend, there was some sound emerging of Joe Tsai talking about rebuilding instead of trying to put Band-Aids on Brooklyn. I know that was a place that was rumored that Donovan Mitchell might have some interest in. To me, this Cavs team has steadily improved. They figured it out between Mitchell and Garland. The bigs and Allen and Mobley, when they're healthy, I think Mitchell probably should stay put and try to compete with the Cavs. That's his best opportunity to me.
I want to get into that a little bit with UD later if we get the chance. In the meantime, one more, and here's the big one. If I were to say LeBron James is going to leave the Lakers this offseason, is that McNutts?
I personally think it's McNutts because LeBron James is not trying to be a tourist attraction at this point in his career. Where can he go and legitimately compete? Now,
Philadelphia.
I'll say now, Philly's out there, it's rumored, but I also think that the Lakers have the opportunity to pay him the most. Now, Philly can match that money, and that's where he wants to be, but at this point for me in his career and in his life, I think it's a little bit more than just the basketball, and LA is where he is.
That's probably right. Now, look, LeBron has till the end of June to decide whether or not he's going to opt into the final year of his contract with LA. His agent, Rich Paul, was on the TNT Altcast the other night, and this is what he said about LeBron's future.
Look, LeBron's a free agent. You have to decide, and I got to focus on his business, and he should be focused on his business, and let the Lakers hire whoever they want to hire. And he's always showed up and played for whatever coach is there.
All right, so that's what I meant when I said he used two words that could change everything. He used the words free agent. Windy, what do we make of this?
It's really not anything that the league isn't expecting or anything. We've been saying for months here that LeBron is expected to opt out. For all intents and purposes, he is a free agent. He has the opportunity to become one. He's got the decision literally all the way down to the day before free agency starts on June 29th. I would not overreact to that at all. I don't think it's a surprise to the league. Everybody knows that was possible. I think when you look at the options, I think the Lakers are still in very, very strong position. I would be surprised if he's not a Laker. But it is fair to point out that Daryl Morey has been trying to sign LeBron for a decade now, multiple different opportunities. And of the teams that have a chance to win the championship next year, the only team with cap space that could offer LeBron a max contract is the 76ers. Other teams could do sign-in trades, but the Lakers wouldn't have to cooperate. The 76ers are a threat. I don't think they're a serious threat, but certainly in the NBA, you never rule anything out.
So again, just to be clear, what you're suggesting, please don't put anything on the bottom line. Wendy's not reporting, but you would not be surprised if the Sixers at least make a little bit of a run at this and see if he would have any interest.
Not only would I not be surprised, I would expect it. That's the way Daryl Morey operates. He always goes for every star. He'll try to acquire every player in the league. That is not a surprise at all with Daryl. He'll go after Paul George. He'll go after every star player he possibly can. Obviously, if you look at it individually, it may seem like a big giant thing, but that is standard business for Daryl Morey.
So talk to me here, UD, about this. As you were with LeBron winning championships, and you've seen him through the machinations of one of the great careers in the history of sports. At this stage of his life and at this stage of his career, what would you expect him to do this summer?
One of the best businessmen I've ever been around. Business mind, they're very calculated. With that being said, you got a better chance of wrestling an alligator than getting Bron out of LA.
Really?
I agree with you 1,000%. He ain't going nowhere. He'll be in the south of France sipping wine while we have these discussions. And we write about it and talk about it, and all the while he is going back to LA. This is a business decision. He has the opportunity to opt out. get more money, that new TV deals coming in, and extend his career a little bit longer. Does he want to play with Bronny? We don't know how that goes, but he has the option, he has the power, and he's just exercising that. He ain't going nowhere.
Clearly.
Stop saying Philly.
Because why? No, I'm just. Why do you see him staying where he is? I think most people agree with you.
You talk business and basketball. What better place to do that than LA, except for Miami? But
yeah.
you say New York.
Thank you.
In New York. But when you
don't
say
do that.
business and basketball, this is where his mind is now. He's won the rings. He's done everything he can do. He is also a businessman now. He has a brand. He's a mogul. He has a production company. He has all these things going on outside of basketball. The best place to do that is LA.
Here would be my pushback on that, and I'm not offering any really. What I would say is he is in that very rare position where it doesn't make any difference where he is, right?
Yes.
He's going to be a mogul wherever he goes. Money, I get it. Money is important. No one walks away. You don't get to be as rich as he is by walking away from $50 million. But he is also that rare person who's going to make as much money as he wants for the rest of his life. So if his primary motivating factor right now is I want to win one more championship before I'm done, and maybe that isn't his first priority, which would be totally understandable. But if his first and only driving principle is where can I win one more chip? Would LA be the place, do you think, right now, of all the places he could go?
Better than Philly.
Better than Philly. Even staying in that loaded West.
Better than Philly.
Better than Philly.
Yeah, you go to Philly, you start all over. You figure out how it works with Embiid, how you play with Embiid. Embiid might have some habits that you might not necessarily agree with. You don't know how that dynamic is going to work. You understand the Laker locker room. You understand the dynamic. You understand the front office. And we don't know for sure because he said otherwise, but you might have some impact on who coaches that team.
Yes.
You stay in that situation.
Oh, what do you think of this?
Because at first I'm like, really? In terms of what Philly is positioned to do if they are healthy. But that's a great point in terms of chemistry. Year one is usually not the year, even if it is someone as great as LeBron James. Now, listen, again, this is very altruistic, folks. Please don't take me too serious. But if he really was trying to win in LA, is there a world where he would, because to your point, he ain't hurting for no money, where he would take less to be able to add pieces? I don't know.
You got Wendy, though. Wendy know him. Wendy know everything. Wendy know before everybody.
What do you think? Windman.
I do think LeBron will prioritize getting the max contract. I do think there's a possibility if the Lakers bring him a plan where reducing his salary could materially change their situation. I think he would be open to listening to it, but I don't see how that would truly do that. I mean, I could go into cap machinations right now and talk about how they could free up the mid-level exception, but unless D'Angelo Russell opts out, I don't think that's likely. I think, again, what's most likely to happen is LeBron to re-sign in LA. And I'll just point something else out. In 2018, Philadelphia had a bunch of cap space and a great young team, and LeBron didn't even look in that direction at that time. That's important to remember.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll leave that there for the moment.